Ever heard the quote, "Beware of little expenses, for a small leak will sink a great ship"? It's easy to ignore things that don't seem so big, and that also includes some expenses that are not exactly scheduled or budgeted for. Unfortunately, when they snowball, you might be left drowning in regret and wishing you had known better. Number 10. Bank fees and credit card interest payments. Bank fees and interest on credit cards are some of the expenses that are overlooked. The fact that you don't pay them as often makes it easy to forget them. Look into your bank fees. It may look like a little, which is the common theme for all these expenses, but with time, it adds up to an amount that you didn't think you would part with. Are they charging you for even the most basic bank service? You might be paying more than you need to. Cross-check with other banks in the area and find one that doesn't take out a lot of money. Credit cards by themselves are a money trap and just keep you in the cycle of debt. Get ahead of all your payments in time. Don't simply pay the minimum balance, because in the long run that doesn't help you clear your payments. You can also go on a card freeze and pay in cash to make sure you are not adding debt to your card before you manage to pay it off. Number 9. Subscriptions. After a long day, it is only right that you unwind by watching the things you enjoy. There are so many streaming platforms out there today, and they all offer great shows that you might want to watch. Because it looks like a simple $10 here and there, you might find yourself signing up for all of them. It is great to have options, so there is never a moment you are bored. However, those payments can snowball into a figure you didn't think you'd be paying at the end of the year. Regularly, review your subscriptions as often as you can. If you haven't watched a particular platform in months, cancel your subscription and only renew when you know that you are going to get the most out of it. This should also work for the different magazines, newspapers, and blogs you easily sign up for. Always review as often as you can so that you are not simply losing money mindlessly. If you have also signed up for delivery and other convenience services, take inventory. Are you using them as often as you thought you would? Are they worthy of your hard-earned $10? Then make the necessary adjustments. Number 8. Guilty pleasures. Some people refer to these as sin costs. These are the things you indulge in that you already know are not exactly beneficial for you. Alcohol, cigarettes, vapes, gambling, video games, and the general clubbing scene. Aside from most of these being harmful to your health, they suffocate your savings as well. The Bureau of Labor Statistics found that Americans spend hundreds to thousands on liquor. You know it's true because almost everyone you visit has their prized liquor cabinet. Buying alcohol is not a one-time payment. You will want to keep buying and losing money in the process. The same goes for cigarettes and vapes. According to research, smokers tend to earn less and pay more in insurance, health, and life. The best thing you can do for yourself is to give up the habit before you are wheeled into the hospital. You also need to be wise with your money when it comes to gambling, video games, and going to the club. If you know you have got no self-control where any of those things are concerned, the best move is to try and cut them out. Number 7. Gym membership. A healthy body is a happy body. We all know this. That's why we start to fret about what we are eating and how we exercise. Going to the gym has become something that everyone wants to do. The perks are easy to see. The gym has the tools you need. There is probably a trainer who will help you. And it's easy to get motivated in the right environment. All these perks would be valid if people had the discipline to keep going to the gym. 50% of people bail on going to the gym within the first 6 months, and unfortunately, some of them never bother to cancel their membership. Keeping up with this membership will cost you over $700 in the long run. You probably keep it running thinking you'll be back to the gym eventually, but rather than lose your money as you wait to get back, cancel it and renew when you are finally ready to commit. While you get disciplined, you can opt for free options. Run, jog, or walk around your neighborhood. You can decide to go hiking or swimming once in a while. If you have got an internet connection, you can do some of the exercise routines from the comfort of your home. Getting your body in shape shouldn't require you to disfigure your bank account. Number 6. Kids' activities. It's easy to think your little bundle of joy is a genius and then sign them up for almost every activity you know about. It's natural for parents to want the best for their children, but if you have your 5-year-old on a schedule like a 20-year-old, then you are not exactly doing them a favor. Taking care of children can be expensive without having to add extra costs. Their health care, getting extra help, their meals and clothes, and other expenses that you should plan for. You don't need to sign them up for art class, dance, swimming, and other sports on top of the different parties they have to go to. On top of that, trying to be the best parent on the block will have you throwing massive parties and organizing expensive playdates. In a few years, your 3-year-old will not even remember the lengths you went to for such things. Having fun does not have to be expensive, and your children can learn that at a young age. Rather than fuss over it if they are destroying their expensive clothes, get them something you won't stress about. Sign them up for a class you also enjoy till they are at an age where they can decide what they want to do. Number 5. Beauty products. There's a reason why the beauty and cosmetic industry is one of the most lucrative in the world. Gone are the days when the emphasis was on inner beauty. We are all about how we can improve our outer appearance, and there is no problem with that. After all, we are visual creatures and take most things at face value, so it's only right that we want to present our best selves to the world. And in a world where almost everyone has a camera, you never know which version of you will stay on the internet forever, so it's best to be prepared. But we need to be more conscious about how much we are spending. Facials, pedicures, manicures, and hairdos. These are all fine if they are done in moderation. If you are changing your look every week, you might end up spending hundreds of dollars a month. If you find yourself trying to keep up with the rest of social media and drowning in debt just to keep up, then you need to reconsider if it's all worth it. Number 4. Repair costs. You can never predict what will fall apart in your house or your car, or whatever else around you will require repair. That's why it's an expense you can't plan for, and one you can't see coming. Everything in use is subject to wear and tear over time. A burst pipe, a blown fuse, some floor issues, and the rest will have you wishing in no time to take classes to be able to do it yourself. Sometimes the costs are magnified when you think of making renovations. If you have watched any renovation shows, you know that sticking to the budget is a challenge. Once you start unearthing problems, you find more of them: mold or an infestation, rotten wood or poor insulation, and so on. Aside from the house itself, you may also find yourself calling in repairs for different appliances. If you've called in your handyman to look at your fridge more than 50 times, then it's probably time to get a new one. You end up spending more on repairs than it would cost to get a new one. You need to weigh the cost of repairs and replacements and do what seems best for you. Number 3. Car. Having a car is convenient, especially for those moments when you just want to drive away from a bad situation or just have a drive for the fun of it. But there is the other side to owning a car. The side that looks like paying for gas, making payments, paying insurance, and maintenance costs. Unlike other assets, cars depreciate the moment they are bought out of the dealership. Because the car is so convenient, it is easy to hold onto it even when it's punching holes in your savings. It's tempting to believe that you can keep up with the expenses without running yourself into the ground. First, downsize your car. How often do you use it? Would it be better if you used public transportation? Second, if you want to buy a new car, go for a second-hand car. That way, you don't have to deal with the issues of the new car by yourself, and you end up saving money on the purchase. Number 2. Gifts. The gift-giving culture is so prevalent among our generation that the average person spends about $650 a year on gifts alone. It's easy to see how this adds up, given that so many events and milestones people want to celebrate: housewarming, baby shower, bridal shower, weddings, gender reveal, divorce parties, birthdays and anniversaries, getting the right job, quitting the wrong job, and so many other events that people feel justified to celebrate. And it's not wrong to cheer on your friends when they move into a new chapter of their lives, but you have to be conscious of how much it takes out of you. Do you have to buy a new outfit to match the theme of the party? Money out of your pocket. Do you have to pay for your own meal? More money out of your pocket. Do you have to turn up with a present that was probably more than you could afford? All those small leaks coming straight for your bank account. Learn to say no to some of those events. If not, go for a meaningful gift that won't cost you a whole lot of money. Normalize giving cards and heartfelt messages, especially when you are aware of your friend's economic standing. Number 1. Food. Everybody needs food to survive. If you came across someone who told you that food is not a necessity, you need to check that they are not a robot in disguise. While we need food, we also underestimate how much we can actually spend on it. It is easy to excuse how much we spend on it: getting snacks at every store, bulk shopping, grocery runs every 2 days, eating out every week, throwing dinner parties, and neighborhood barbecues. The average American spends about $3,000 on eating out. This is probably a figure no one thinks they could spend on just food, but it's the sort of expense that piles up over time. There are smarter ways to go about your food situation. Consider packing your lunch, whether for school or for work. Cut down on how often you want to go out. You can make it an event and stick to doing it bi-weekly. This way, it is something you can look forward to and plan for in good time. You should also consider meal prepping ahead of time. When you know what you need ahead of time, it saves time and keeps you from making so many grocery runs.